Hello and welcome to the Formula E Berlin e-Prix event. So which car should you choose? Well, there's basically three spec packages, 4 cars each. First one here has got less top speed but better acceleration, worse brakes but better grip. Second one's middle of the road acceleration and top speed, better brakes, worse grip. And the last one, as you might imagine, has the best top speed but the worst acceleration, better brakes but worse grip. Now these changes are pretty small, but they might get bigger as we go further into the event. So what am I going to do? I want to choose the best acceleration and the best grip because I often find that I don't quite make use of the top speed in a lot of different cars. So that's what I'm doing this time around. I chose the Mahindra because I don't have any of those. It's their first time being in the game, and I thought that's great. I'm going to give that one a shot. If you want to go back and review those cars, you go right ahead. You can pause it, take a look at each of the cars. I showed you each car for the different package to make it easy for you to make your choice. And I'm not familiar with the drivers in Formula E, so I just picked that guy just because. Day one, they've especially hurt us in the acceleration and top speed, so we're just going to have to deal with that. Day one is usually extremely easy. You could probably do it with all assists on high. I'm not going to try that. I always race with no assists, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm using sensitivity 2, and I'm just going to have to learn the track. My goodness, is that guy taking a horrible race line. Unfortunately, that problem is still going to be here, where if you're using assists, lap 0 is going to be atrocious. They're just going to be driving your car very badly, so you might need to limit those assists, maybe go to steering assist low. That might help you a little bit. I noticed the bots are driving very bad. That one was just taking that corner horrible. You don't take a hairpin driving in the very middle of the track. So we'll see what happens as we go on in this event, but from what I've understood, that bug has not been fixed yet. And you just got to learn the track a bit. I know this track pretty good, but I haven't driven it in this car. This is my first time. So there's going to be some fine-tuning of braking points and just figuring out how the car handles. It feels much like other Formula E cars. I still have my sensitivity on 2. Sometimes I've bumped it up to 4 on this track just because you get these sharper corners. But lately I've been happy with sensitivity 2 on this track, so I'm just going to leave it and see what this is like. Man, with the acceleration and top speed so hurt, you don't need to brake for some of these corners. Well, for just one, I'll point that out next time. And I'm not quite sure of my braking point here. Obviously that was too late. No chance of winning this race, I don't think, and it wasn't a requirement. Basically just had to drive. So if you can drive a car, you can finish this stage. And there we go. Again, just had to complete the stage. So if you've never driven this track before, that was an opportunity for you to get some experience at the track and get a little bit of a handle on what you're doing. And yeah, I didn't do that great, but there was really no chance of winning that race. So there you go. If you're not familiar with the Berlin track, that's a great opportunity to get familiar with it. You could even go back and forth and drive it again and again, as long as you finish the race at some point. Now in this event, we're supposed to spend a certain amount of time behind cars. It doesn't matter which car you choose. You can choose multiple. It will accumulate. So sometimes in these events, we have to do all of it with one car, but you'll notice, not with this one. Get out of my way, I'm going to shove you out of there. The problem with a day like this is whatever you learn about braking points and acceleration points on day 1, basically you're going to be throwing away for day 2. Because I hope in day 2 our car has not been still hurt like this. Whatever the case, at some point we will be driving a normal car. As you can see, the time keeps adding up despite who I'm behind. Doesn't really matter as long as you're behind somebody close enough. So that's good to know. You can just drive this and work your way to the front if you can ever get there, which I'm not sure if I can. We're going to find out. This is the last lap, and I've done what I was supposed to do. Not a very difficult stage. Again, obviously you could have just stayed behind one car and finish this just fine. Now, in this event, I will not be doing any bot management. I will not be finishing late. I'm going to be driving this flat out the whole time. This event is going to have required PR limits. So there's going to be minimums, like if you don't have enough tuning for a certain race, or I should say PR, you're going to have to buy it. Those are usually a lot easier. So, and honestly for me, they're kind of boring. So I want to make this harder for myself. So I'll be driving hard. And hopefully that is going to give me some more difficult stages coming up. Again, I'm fast forwarding through some of this stuff just at 2 times regular speed. You can pause and look at whatever you want to if you want to get a better read of something here. But a lot of this, I've skipped through it in the past, but then sometimes people wanted to see what something said. So it's all here, just going by a little bit faster. Now, this one we get to see what battery power is like. That is a huge amount of battery power for the amount of laps we have to do. Like, that's a gargantuan amount. In one of the update videos I did, I showed you a race where I started with 100% battery and it was 20 laps at this track. Even then, I finished with about 20% battery. So this is not going to be hard for you. You could stay full throttle the whole way if you wanted to. I mean, of course, you're going to be bashing into walls at that point, but I don't understand how you could run out of battery on this particular stage. Unless you sat there doing donuts for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. And if we want to look at how to do donuts in these cars, oops, well, I kind of blew that breaking point. I'll get into how to do donuts in these cars in one of the days. Because sometimes people ask me questions like that, and I'm sure at some race I'm going to have a lot of time to kill, so I'll do donuts at some point. That's a little bit better breaking point. What I'm doing is I'm looking on the walls. There's lots of distance markers, lots of banners, so there's lots of things that you can pick from to have your breaking point. Oops, okay. I'm doing this on purpose, believe it or not. You may not know this, but you can go just as fast backwards as you can forwards in these cars. But it can really mess with you, because right now I've got to hit my power pedal. I keep wanting to call it a gas pedal. I'll call it an accelerator, because both times it's about going faster. Right now, brakes is my accelerator, and my normal accelerator is my brakes. And so you see how my brake pedal's on? So I've got to really switch things up in my brain, and steering feels all messy as well. Steering is all backwards. If you don't overthink it, it's not too hard. But it's kind of funny. Look at that. You can do whole races this way if you want to. It is a little bit challenging. You can't maximize the car because at this point, you see that? My front wheel started slipping out. You can't corner the same way when you're going backwards. But look at that. In this race, I'm obviously in the lead because usually it would stop if it showed 150. So I'll just bounce off the wall here to go forwards again. Boink. And there we go. Let's go finish this race. So you can have some silly fun like that if you want to. You can drive things backwards. It is a challenge. I've done this a few times. Actually did a whole race this way at Melbourne once. There you go. Very easy. That's our day one. I have no tuning yet, and I just leveled up my driver. Well, I've got enough to level up, but I didn't buy it. And there you go. Stay tuned for day 2. I'll be doing a full walkthrough of all the days. Once I get done more days, they will be added to a playlist that will appear soon, as well as the update video if you haven't seen it, and some more. Thanks for watching.